The inspiration. I am an image collector, and I'm always gathering images that somehow strike me in one way or another as intriguing or meaningful. Or perhaps somehow the image sparks my imagination. It will not be possible to bring all of my images to their full expression in my lifetime, but I intend to address as many as I can, letting my intuition guide my selections. The photographs that inspired this painting were taken in rapid succession as we were driving past a Mennonite church on a country road. Scenes of Mennonite life are always intriguing, as it seems like a glimpse into the distant past. And horses and buggies are always cool too. What struck me particularly about this scene was the starkness of the church. No grand stained windows, no steeple, nothing ostentatious. It's just very simple and uncluttered. In stark contrast to the white of the church, the window and door opening struck me because of the absolute darkness of the interior, sucking in all the light, reflecting no light back, like a black hole. It makes me very curious as to what is inside. Lastly, what struck me were the people sitting along the side of the church with the brooms nearby. A good guess is that they had been cleaning the interior and were taking a well-deserved break. I wonder if it was joyful work or weary work. Altogether, the scene seemed serene. The reference. This is a collage of photocopies from all the different photographs with some additional drawing upon the photocopies. The different photographs were taken as we were driving by the building, which is why the impossible three-sided perspective of the building is shown. While I could have corrected the perspective, I chose to let it remain out of whack and truer to my experience of the building. The horse and buggies had to go, as they would have perhaps stolen the show away from the building and the workers, which is where I saw the serenity. The first step. Once a version of the image appears on my canvas with all colors painted in, it is finally time to begin to create my art. The painted image thus far is what I consider the underpainting. The transformations will be painted directly on top of the underpainting. Gradually, as I study the graphic elements, meaning the lines, shapes, color, etc., I make slight changes at first, smoothing a line here, editing out a blob there, adjusting the colors and values as I go. A key feature of the transformative technique is determining which elements must be preserved and which must be changed, which must be eliminated or added in order to achieve the best result. All of these decisions are guided by the overall message that seems to want to be expressed by the image. Yes, the image and I are having a type of conversation. I'll make a change, the image feels good. I'll make another change, the image groans, and I revise until the groaning ceases. I'll make a change, the image eggs me on. It can feel like the image is really in control, which I accept. I exist to serve the image so that it can attain its peak expressiveness. Through all of this, I have a set of constraints that are bound by my personal style, which has evolved over 20+ years of painting. The image that comes to me, therefore, is accepting and expecting versions of these constraints. My style constraints usually include definite organic expressive lines, sensuously shaded shapes, I call these shape characters, and an unambivalent, bold use of color. The more attuned I am to the image, the more effective my painting. My everlasting challenge as an artist is to always strive to become more attuned. This stage is what I consider my starting point. This is what my canvas looked like shortly after transforming the image elements and blocking in all the colors. I did a little bit of transforming already, just because I couldn't help it, like making a decision to get rid of the buggy path going alongside the church and stylizing the trees. But at this point I'm alarmed. I'm not so sure about this composition, and I may have to do some radical revisions. The trees, for sure, are looking wonky, and I took my first stab at the colors, which I'm sure will be revised. I'll have the major revisions done before turning my focus to the finer details like doors, windows, and people. The sky is yellow because it's my first stab at incorporating yellow into the painting. The building is blue because blue is a great foil for the yellow sky, and I wanted the white building to seem especially pure, and the blue imitates the bluing agents often used in bleaching products. The trees are depicted with vertical shapes to help offset the horizontality of the composition. The dresses of the women figures are blue, so as to relate to the iconic imagery of the pure and holy Virgin Mother Mary. The first revision. I decided the trees looked too strange, so they have become less vertical and more yellow. Now I'm much happier with the trees. I altered the perspective of the church so as to allow the rightmost tree's trunk to be visible, as well as allowing the horizon line of the right-hand side of the building to become visible, all of which make the composition feel more balanced. The openings for the doors and windows are enlarged to allow for more importance to be directed at what's going on in the interior of the building. The sky has changed from yellow to blue, as the yellow in the sky didn't feel right. The roof has changed from brown to yellow and feels like a more natural place to concentrate the yellow. More color revisions. Ugh! The redefined trees are further greened, losing their yellow in order to compete with the building less. The roof is further yellowed to become more prominent, and the window trim is darkened to become less distracting. Renovation. A radical building change has happened. The third side of the building is now gone. Totally gone. Having the third side was too distracting for me. The building also became taller, and the clutter of the roof vents is gone. 2 windows have been added, resulting in a very strong rhythm. Perhaps the rhythm is too strong. I'm not sure yet. The rightmost window has a focal point of the Holy Spirit being shown in the interior of the building in blue. The Holy Spirit is there to envelop anyone who is near with its presence. The doors have become red. I'm not sure if they'll stay that way. More of the potential meaning of the painting is starting to become apparent. The yellow of the roof wants to become two-toned, but I'm not so sure about this, as simplicity is my mandate. For now, I am considering it. The trees are further simplified and starting to become what I wanted them to be, and I'm excited about that. I'm considering breaking up the building, perhaps by placing a bush at the rear of the building to act as a counterbalance to the building entrances at the front and side. The tree line. The trees are progressing in the right direction, more simplified and more yellow. Yay! The rear far right side of the building is still undergoing change. The last window is now gone. Now it seems less crowded. However, the Holy Spirit's focal origins remain in the rearmost window. The rear tree has moved far enough into the foreground that it's obscuring the rear edge of the building. While I think the wonkiness of the rear of the building is improved, still there is more to be done. The path has reemerged in order to bring back more of the reference image and add interest to the foreground. The roof is starting to take shape, giving reference to the original ribbing along the roof and having some interplay with the trees peeking above it. The red doors are forsook in order to have yellow doors, which have a relationship to the roof. The grass has claimed some yellow as well. However, all but one broom remains. The trees continue to simplify. The roof continues to progress. The rear of the building is further trimmed. The rearmost tree is struggling to find balance with the rear of the building as it overlaps the rear of the building. And a cloud line is added closer to the horizon. The embrace of trees. The trees are further simplified, allowing their characters to become more prominent, and the rear of the building continues to get trimmed, allowing for even more breathing space on the right side of the composition. The trees on top of the roof are slightly overtaking the upper roof line. The shadow lines of the lower roof line are darker, providing more contrast, thus more prominence to the idea of horizon flatness. The windows and grass. Finally, the trees are approaching their final forms. The grass has now become streamlined. The window trim and door openings have darkened significantly and are further minimized by becoming darker, deepening the mystery of the interior. Ooh. Trees continue to become fuller and more simplified. Pink branches are poking through the boughs. Grass becomes even more defined and simplified and streamlined. The far right end of the Holy Spirit becomes simplified and larger. Still, the composition seems too complicated. More simplification to come. The windows narrow. Trees have become even more voluminous. The windows are narrowed, adding a vertical foil to all of the horizontality. The tree reflection patterning in the roof is becoming more pronounced. I'm wondering if I should go ahead and disregard the upper roof line entirely, as it seems to want to be overtaken by the trees. Deeper sky. The sky experiments have begun. I like the deeper sky, but this may be just too pronounced. Purple sky? The sky experiments continue. The clouds are much less pronounced, but the shapes are starting to feel better. Character development. I'm fairly pleased with the sky, which is now somewhat defined. Trees are further simplified and defined with dark green shadow lines. Thus, the tree-shaped characters are becoming even more animated. Cool. The sky is merging with the roof. The sky and the roof are starting to intertwine even more. I'm not sure about the level of detail that has grown up along the roofline. I'm thinking that more simplification needs to happen. The trees overtake the roof. So the trees have ballooned and become simpler, and the roofline has been obliterated. I'm feeling very emboldened by the total disappearance of the roofline. Thus, I'm finding it necessary to diminish the straightness of all the lines in the building. The incorporation of sunshine. The trees have become yellower, and the lower roof line is reacting to the roof being overtaken by the trees. The front of the church is also becoming attuned to the trees. Gee, the trees seem pretty important. Shadow lines. Shapes of shadows from the windows and the roof line have become more pronounced. The door opening header lines are finally silenced. More details. The sky shapes are feeling better, and the yellowiness becomes even more pronounced. Yes, this is it. This is what I'm talking about. Finally, I think I like it. Woohoo!